The Chosen One, a collapse that will change you generationally. It's happening. In the bustling city of Eldritch, where skyscrapers pierced the clouds like arrogant fingers pointing to an indifferent sky, lived a young woman named Elara. She was 28, ordinary by all accounts, a graphic designer working freelance gigs, scrolling endlessly through social media, and nursing a quiet dissatisfaction with life. Her days blurred into nights of takeout food, fleeting relationships, and a nagging sense that something deeper was missing. Little did she know, she was the chosen one. Elara's lineage traced back through generations of quiet suffering. Her grandmother had fled war-torn lands, carrying scars of loss that she buried deep. Her mother had battled addiction, passing down invisible chains of trauma, patterns of self-doubt, broken trust, and unfulfilled dreams. Elara felt them all, the anxiety that gripped her chest without warning, the fear of commitment that sabotaged every potential love, the subtle voice whispering that she wasn't enough. These weren't just personal flaws, they were generational curses, woven into her DNA like dark threads in a tapestry. But the universe had a plan. Whispers from ancient prophecies and modern spiritual channels had been echoing for years. The chosen one will emerge in the time of great collapse, a shattering that breaks not just the world, but the chains of bloodlines. It will change you generationally. It's happening. The signs began subtly in early 2026. Global tensions escalated. Prophecies from seers like Baba Vanga spoke of economic crises, conflicts flaring in unexpected places, and a spiritual unrest that rippled across nations. Markets trembled, supply chains fractured, and people everywhere felt the ground shifting. Riots sparked in cities over rising costs, governments teetered on the edge of reform or downfall, and a collective awakening stirred. It wasn't just economic or societal collapse, it was deeper, a divine reset, forcing humanity to confront illusions of control. For Elara, it started with a dream. She awoke one January night in 2026, sweat-drenched, heart pounding. In the dream, she stood atop a crumbling tower, watching the world below fracture like glass. Old structures, banks, institutions, even family homes collapsed into dust. But from the ruins rose a light, pulsing from her own chest. A voice, ancient and kind, echoed, "You are the chosen one." The collapse is not destruction, it is liberation. What falls now will free your bloodline forever. She dismissed it at first, chalking it up to stress. Work dried up as clients panicked amid the economic downturn. Her savings dwindled, forcing her to move back with her estranged mother. Arguments flared, old wounds reopened, her mother's resentment, Elara's buried anger. It felt like everything was collapsing around her, mirroring the world outside. Then came the isolation. Friends distanced themselves, caught in their own survival modes. Relationships crumbled under the weight of uncertainty. Elara hit rock bottom, alone in her childhood bedroom, staring at the ceiling, questioning her purpose. "Why me?" she whispered into the void. "Why does it hurt so much?" That's when the awakening began. In the silence of her breakdown, strange things happened. Synchronicities flooded her life. Repeated numbers like 1111 on clocks, feathers appearing inexplicably, songs on the radio echoing her exact thoughts. She stumbled upon online videos titled exactly like her inner turmoil, "Chosen One, a collapse that will change you generationally." It's happening. Spiritual teachers spoke of empaths and lightworkers, those selected to anchor higher energies during global shifts. They described the pain. The chosen ones suffer most because they carry the heaviest loads, to heal not just themselves, but their ancestors and descendants. Elara dove in. She meditated, journaled, sought therapy intertwined with spiritual guidance. Layers peeled away. She confronted her mother's pain, leading to tearful reconciliations where truths long suppressed surfaced. Forgiveness flowed, not easy, but transformative. She traced family history, uncovering stories of abuse, loss, and resilience buried for generations. The personal collapse intensified before it eased. A major healthcare hit, doctors baffled by symptoms that mirrored unresolved trauma manifesting physically. Debts mounted as the broader economy spiraled. Yet in the depths, Elara felt a shift. Energy surged through her during meditations, visions of past lives as healers and warriors. She realized this wasn't punishment. The collapse was divine surgery, removing the generational toxins. As 2026 progressed, the world mirrored her journey. News of spiritual revival spread amid the chaos, mass meditations, communities forming around unity rather than division. Prophecies unfolded, awakenings after disruption, a golden age emerging from the ashes. Elara stepped into her power. She started sharing her story online, anonymously at first. Posts about breaking curses went viral. People messaged her, "This is me too. Thank you for showing the way." One pivotal night, during a global event, a rare celestial alignment amplified by solar activity, Elara experienced full activation. In a vision, she saw her bloodline as a tree, roots tangled in darkness. She reached out and light poured from her hands, dissolving the knots. Ancestors appeared, thanking her. Future children, generations unborn, smiled, free of the burdens she once carried. She emerged, changed. The anxiety lifted, replaced by unshakable peace. Creativity exploded. Her designs now carried healing frequencies, touching thousands. Relationships deepened, attracting souls aligned with her new vibration. Her mother healed too, breaking the cycle, no more passing down pain. By year-end, as the world stabilized into something new, more conscious, compassionate, Elara knew the prophecy fulfilled. The collapse had happened, not to destroy, but to rebuild, generationally. If you're reading this and feeling the shatter, know it's happening. You're not breaking, you're becoming. The generational shift starts with you. Embrace the collapse. The light awaits on the other side. In the shadowed valleys of Eldridge, a city that sprawled like a weary giant under the perpetual haze of industrial fog, Elara Voss navigated her existence with the quiet resignation of someone who had long ago stopped dreaming big. At 28, she was a freelance graphic designer, her days a monotonous cycle of pixel pushing for corporate clients who demanded more for less. Her apartment was a cramped studio on the 14th floor of a decaying high-rise, where the walls echoed with the distant hum of traffic and the occasional argument from neighbors. Social media was her escape, an endless scroll of curated lives that only amplified her inner void. She had friends, but they were surface level, the kind that liked posts but rarely checked in. Relationships? A string of fleeting encounters that left her feeling more alone. Deep down, Elara carried a weight she couldn't name, a generational echo of pain passed down like an unwelcome heirloom. Her family history was a mosaic of unspoken tragedies. Her great-grandmother, Ida, had survived the horrors of a forgotten war in Eastern Europe, crossing borders with nothing but her infant daughter and the scars of loss etched into her soul. Ida's silence about the atrocities, bombings, separations, the cold grip of starvation became a family tradition. Elara's grandmother, Maria, inherited that silence, channeling it into a life of overwork and emotional detachment, marrying young to escape poverty, only to find herself trapped in a cycle of domestic strife. Maria's daughter, Elara's mother, Lena, rebelled against it all, diving into the chaos of the 1980s counterculture, where freedom turned to addiction. Lena's battles with substances left her volatile, her love for Elara fierce but erratic, laced with guilt and resentment. Elara, the endpoint of this chain, felt it all. The anxiety that ambushed her in quiet moments, the self-sabotage that derailed opportunities, the deep-seated belief that vulnerability led only to hurt. These weren't mere quirks, they were generational imprints, traumas encoded in behaviors, beliefs, and even biology. Epigenetic shadows that science was only beginning to unravel. But fate, or perhaps a higher cosmic design, had marked Elara as the chosen one. Ancient texts from mystics across cultures, Nostradamus' quatrains, the Hopi prophecies, even modern channelings from figures like Esther Hicks spoke of a time when the old world would crumble. The veil thins, they warned, and the chosen ones arise amid the collapse, a shattering of illusions, economies, and souls. It will change you generationally. It's happening. In spiritual circles, whispers grew. 2026 would be the year of the Great Reckoning, a convergence of astrological alignments, geopolitical tensions, and collective karma demanding resolution. The omens began in late 2025, subtle at first, like cracks in a dam. Global markets stuttered as inflation soared, supply chains snapped under the strain of lingering pandemics and trade wars. Conflicts simmered in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, spilling into cyber skirmishes that disrupted power grids. In Eldridge, protests erupted over housing costs, with tent cities sprouting in parks as evictions hit record highs. The media called it the slow unraveling, but spiritualists knew better. It was the prelude to ascension, a forced evolution where humanity shed its outdated skin. For Elara, the personal unraveling started on a crisp January morning in 2026, January 7th to be exact. She woke from a vivid dream, her sheets tangled, breath ragged. In the vision, she perched on a precipice overlooking Eldridge, the city fracturing like brittle ice. Skyscrapers toppled in slow motion, institutions dissolved into ether, and from the debris, ethereal lights bloomed, ancestral spirits rising, chains breaking. A resonant voice, neither male nor female, intoned, "You are the chosen one, Elara. The collapse is your forge. What breaks now mends the lineage forever. Embrace it, for it's happening." She shook it off, attributing it to the stress of a recent layoff. Her biggest client, a tech startup, had folded amid the economic downturn, leaving her scrambling for gigs. Bills piled up, her savings a dwindling buffer. Reluctantly, she packed her things and returned to her mother's modest bungalow on the city's outskirts, a place she hadn't called home since college. Lena greeted her with a mix of relief and tension, her face lined with years of hard living. "About time you came back," Lena said, her voice laced with unspoken accusations. The house was a time capsule, faded photos of happier days, cluttered with relics of Lena's sobriety journey, AA chips, self-help books yellowed with age. The first weeks were a powder keg. Arguments ignited over trivialities, dirty dishes, late nights, but unearthed deeper fissures. Lena's resentment boiled over one evening. "You think you're better than me, running off to the city like I didn't sacrifice everything?" Elara fired back, tears streaming. "Sacrifice? You were never there, always chasing highs or lows, leaving me to pick up the pieces." It was raw, generational wounds laid bare. Outside, the world echoed their turmoil. News reports of stock market plunges, riots in major cities, and a viral pandemic variant straining hospitals. Governments imposed curfews, and social media buzzed with doomsday predictions. Isolation deepened Elara's despair. Friends ghosted, overwhelmed by their own crises, job losses, family illnesses. A budding romance with a barista named Alex fizzled when he moved back to his parents' farm amid food shortages. Elara hit her nadir in mid-February, curled on her childhood bed, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars she'd stuck to the ceiling as a kid. "What's the point?" she whispered. Suicidal thoughts flickered, but a spark of defiance held them at bay. Then the synchronicities began. Walking to the grocery store, now rationing essentials, she spotted 1111 on a digital billboard. Feathers appeared on her path, white and pristine. A radio in a passing car played a song lyric mirroring her exact thought. "Break the chain, let the light in." Intrigued, she searched online and stumbled into a rabbit hole of spiritual content. Videos with titles like "Signs You're a Chosen One in the 2026 Collapse" flooded her feed. Channels from intuitives like Teal Swan and Abraham Hicks described empaths burdened with ancestral clearing. "The pain is purposeful," one said. "You're transmuting generations of karma. The collapse isn't random, it's a generational reset." Elara experimented. She started meditating, guided by free apps, her mind a storm at first, but gradually calming. Journaling unearthed memories, her mother's absences, grandmother's stoic silences, echoes of Ida's war stories whispered in hushed tones. Therapy followed, virtual sessions with a counselor specializing in intergenerational trauma. These patterns are learned, but they can be unlearned. Elara traced her family tree online, uncovering documents, Ida's immigration papers, Maria's divorce records, Lena's rehab stints. Each revelation was a puzzle piece, revealing how survival modes had morphed into self-limiting beliefs. But healing wasn't linear. The collapse intensified. In March, Elara suffered a mysterious illness, chronic fatigue, migraines, unexplained rashes. Doctors ran tests, finding nothing physical, but a holistic practitioner suggested it's somatic release. Your body is purging ancestral toxins. Finances cratered. Debts mounted as freelance work vanished. Lena relapsed briefly, a bottle hidden in the garage, leading to a heart-wrenching intervention where Elara held her mother as they both sobbed. Amid the darkness, glimmers emerged. Elara joined online communities of Starseeds and lightworkers, sharing anonymously. Her posts about breaking curses resonated. "I'm feeling my great-grandma's pain in my bones. How do we end this?" Responses poured in, stories of similar awakenings worldwide. One user linked to prophecies, Baba Vanga's vision of a great wave in 2026, Edgar Cayce's predictions of pole shifts symbolizing inner transformations. By summer, as global events peaked, a major earthquake in California, symbolizing literal and metaphorical shakes, peace talks failing in hotspots, Elara's visions intensified. In meditations, she journeyed through time, as Ida fleeing bombs, as Maria enduring abuse, as Lena spiraling. She forgave them, light dissolving shadows. A pivotal reconciliation with Lena happened under a full moon. Stories shared, apologies exchanged, a ritual burning of old letters symbolizing release. Elara's activation culminated in September during a rare planetary alignment, Pluto squaring nodes, amplified by solar flares disrupting communications worldwide. In a trance, she envisioned her bloodline as a vast tree, roots knotted in darkness. Channeling energy, she severed them, ancestors appearing in luminous forms. "Thank you, daughter. We're free." Future descendants, children she might never have, nodded in gratitude, their eyes unburdened. Transformed, Elara emerged resilient. Anxiety faded, replaced with purpose. Her designs evolved, infused with sacred geometry that viewers reported as healing. She started a podcast, Generational Shifts, interviewing others on their awakenings. Relationships blossomed. She met Kai, a fellow empath in a community garden born from urban collapse, spaces reclaimed for sustainability. Lena healed too, volunteering at shelters, her addiction a distant memory. The world stabilized by year-end, economies rebooted with equitable models, spiritual movements influencing policy, a collective consciousness rising from ruins. Elara knew she wasn't alone. Millions were chosen ones, each collapsing and rebuilding. The prophecy had unfolded, a change not just personal, but generational. Pain transmuted to power, cycles broken forever. If echoes of this stir in you amid the chaos, listen. The collapse is your call to rise. It's happening. Embrace it and watch your lineage transform. The golden age begins within.